Hello everyone, this is, I'm not really 100% positive on what this is going to be called yet. That's mostly because I can't really 100% decide on anything in my entire life. But, I mean, so far what we got is talk to him, and that's spelt, like, on some way, probably, like, whatever medium you're listening to this on. That's probably, you clicked on whatever I decided to name it, but it's just like anything else in my life. I may just release it again at some other point and name it something different. Kind of like what I do with my animals. I just name them. I name them pretty much whatever I want, whenever I want. Like, I had a guinea pig that was named Columbo, and I don't remember the other names. I think one of them was Zeus. But I ended up settling on Morgan Freeman for my bird. But I sometimes I'm indecisive is the main point of that. So these are some short, I guess these aren't short, but this is what I've decided to do. I've decided to make a podcast about some of the things that I think are interesting. One of the things that you need to understand before you understand anything that I'm going to say is a little bit of my backstory and or who I am. So, I have along with me Starboy and Captain Planet, a.k.a. Zaboomafoo, a.k.a. The Rake. And they're going to be guiding me along this vessel for other people to use for the perpetuation of a life that they would like to live.
Very nice.
Thanks. See, already told me that he wasn't going to talk, but now I know that I've gotten him excited about this. He wants to be a part of it, you dirty, grimy bastard, and he can be. I'm going to be bouncing off my ideas off of these two people. I'm we might get wacky, and later on we might have some guest speakers. I believe Grimby wanted to be up on this. At least once. She was probably going to be at, I got another one coming up soon. It's called Things I'm Bad At. It has a lot to do with who I am as a person. This is seeming too silly, but I mean, I said don't fear. We're going to willy tilly to the nilly. And that's just kind of how it's going to rock and roll. Say, my name is Royal Rock. I said, gotta do it like I'm used to it, bitch.
That would be a good intro, too.
That would be a terrific intro. Our first intro is going to be, what you just heard was Viking Man by Rodriguez and Gabriella, if that's how you say it. I know it has the eye of what looks to be Gazia on the album. And it's flamenco. And I like Spanish guitar. So, here's the first one. This is the backstory that you're going to get. I'm drinking a Corona, and I'm having myself a tippy. If at any point I decide, if at any point you hear Captain Planet or Zaboomafoo talking, it's because I needed them to clarify some certain aspects of my life. If you know who they are by their voice, that's sick. You should comment below, and if they decide to reveal their identity, you should comment before they reveal it, or it doesn't count. And so here we go. The first thing that I'm going to talk about is reasons why my life is strange. And by strange, I'm very, very, very literal with the words that I'm using. If I use the word stupid, I literally am not saying an insult. I'm saying that person either is lacking or that person's actions are lacking of intelligent design, and not intelligent design like Jesus, like they lack intelligence. Like, I'm very literal. So if I'm saying, oh, that's fucking stupid, I'm not saying that person is stupid. I may just be saying what. So I will way over clarify and over define just about everything that I ever say. And if you know who I am, then you know why I do that. And if you know who I am and don't know why I do that, maybe this will give you some insight as to who I am as a human being, and it will help me have a podcast, and I've always wanted to have one. So one of the number one things is I don't know where I was born. I mean, I know I was born in Massachusetts to mother Martha and father Job. But I don't know which hospital I was born in. I think I was born in Holyoke, but like it doesn't matter. But I'm the son of a preacher man. Now one of the things that's always been very interesting to me is that like you're gonna kind of like a lot of the beginning of this has to do with my father. And it doesn't have anything to do with whether or not my upbringing was good or bad, because I think it was tremendous. I very much enjoy living, and that's probably like exactly, I mean, what do you want for your kids? I want them to be happy. It's like the number one. So I think that they did a good job in facilitating a person that they would want to hang out with as well as a person that I enjoy being. So this has nothing, strange doesn't mean bad in any way. It doesn't mean it's bad. It doesn't mean I'm less fortunate. It doesn't mean I'm more fortunate. It doesn't mean anything other than when you talk to people and you say, if you got 150 people around and you said, "Hey everybody, tell me your backstory," mine would have the least things you'd think are normal. Like if you were to like there's just really no other way to put it other than that my life is just strange. So the number one being that my father kind of has three heads in my life. He covers my religion. He was the face of my religion when I was younger, and I don't mean like I worshipped him. I mean like he was my minister. He was my pastor. He runs his own business, and so it's not like when he came home he was like, "Oh man, I've worked this 9 to 5. I'm tired. I hate my boss so and so." And number three, for a short period of time, my dude was my principal. So he was the face of my religion, he was the owner of his business, and he was head honcho boss. And we live in a decently well, I grew up in more or less of a biblical patriarchal system that most of Christianity, or at least, I mean, imagine like 1950s to like imagine Christians in America before cell phones and after the fucking revolution and shit. It's very the same. And so when I was younger, I didn't really realize that everybody wasn't religious. And so that was a decent eye opener. And also I never really understood how strange it was. Strange not being bad, but strange being weird, that my dad was, when I would go to church and I would learn about God, it would be from my dad, and people would come to me and they would be like, "Oh, your dad is the minister." Just anything that they would say, it was never really like I had a normal church experience, because I was there every day. And now I wasn't there every day because of church, but our school that we owned, Bible Baptist Academy, was ran it coexisted in the same building. We did an add-on in the church. I forget what year it is. Someone that is from the church can comment below as well. If Sam, if you're listening to this, you can tell me what year the church addition was built on. Anybody else is listening to this, I doubt anybody will actually make it this far because it was too silly in the beginning. But Henry Talbot, Sarah, Bessie, Job, J.N. Hicks. Oh, so my dude. Let me know when the church had the addition built on it. Now, I grew up going to that church, and the beginnings of my memories are of that. The addition to where the school was when it was being built. Oh, did you pause it? Okay. Hold up, I'm gonna have a toke. So remember, school being built.
Hold up, I'm gonna have a dope.
This is when we bring the chatter.
Did you say the chabby?
The chibby.
The chibby chab.
We brought the chibby chab. The chabby's on.
Chavvy is a gypsy word.
What does it mean?
I can't tell you. At least not on the podcast. It's real life. There's nothing bad. I guess it's to the definition that I portrayed before. It's strange.
Mm.
The Romney has its own way to speak, and you gotta jive with the people that I know to know that. So basically, one of the beginning memories, one of the original memories that I have in my life is going to that school that I would go to, and and seeing it be built. So I grew. I mean, I not only watched that place be built, but I watched that place have me grow up in it. It was a school, a tiny little school on 575 Morgan Road. The phone number is 7330968, which I will always remember. It was kindergarten through 12th grade, and when I started going to school, it only had, I think, about 65 kids in it, K through 12. We're talking, largest class, I think, was 4th, 5th, and 6th grade, and there was like 28 kids in there. It gives you an idea of how different that is from just about any other school, other than the very small amount of people that I think go to Pioneer Valley Christian School. I can't really think of anything else as small. But we got a good education. We did out of the Abeka book systems. And my dad was my principal. So, I mean, if I ever got it, I remember one time in 4th grade I got in trouble. Because Miss LaFoe gave us all detention, but she was being so whack. Yeah, she gave the 4th, 5th, and 6th grade detention because we wouldn't play crab soccer. Or it was like 7-up. And it hurt my hands to do that. And so I didn't want to play crab soccer. And so what I decided to do was tell her, this hurts my hands so bad I cannot play crab soccer. And she yelled at me, and then I had to play. But then later when we were in the room, I don't remember how it all went down, but for somehow Dave Avalon and me and everyone, we just weren't having it. So we were playing 7-up or something, and then she said, all of you are getting a detention, which was, I mean, in my school, when you got detention, you would just write out of the Bible. And I only got detention once with, that's Pantera. On the movie Kill Bill 2, behind Bill, he drives a Pantera, which is a lovely marriage between Italian car design and the longevity, prosperity, and reliability of the American engine. Also made out of aluminum, its V8 produced an adequate amount of power in a lovely package. And so I would say to anybody in the market for a fast car that is 30 to 40 grand, I would just literally just cut that bullshit and I would go find a mint condition Pantera. So I got detention with Eric Adamansky one time, and me and him had to write in the Bible, or we wrote verses or something out of the Bible. And I remember, okay, so the whole point of that is I was told by my dad, hey, I'm going to tell you a secret. Now, thinking back to this was probably like one of the very first times that my dad tried to actually be friends with me, and what did I do? I just fucked it all up. But he was like, hey, I'm going to tell you something, because I was really, really distraught about it. I was so distraught that I was going to have detention. I had never done anything bad in my life. I tried my hardest to always be as good as possible. And even and I guess also by good as I always tried to do the best that I could and do what I thought was right. No. Ooh. It's about 9:19 on a Sunday night. I'm a little tired. Worked for the first time ever with my brother today. It all comes full circle. That's in the podcast in a little bit, so I'll get to that. I digress. But my dad said to me, hey, you don't have to actually have detention. The whole class isn't going to have detention. She can't really do that. We all talked that it's rude. Now, she must have been 23 or 24 years old. She was the teacher. Now, I'm 25 now, and I don't know anything. And I'm positive that Miss LaFoe just thought we were all wicked annoying. And we do not fuck around like that. Hey!
Josh is yelling at the grid right now.
Don't hiss at the rake. So we didn't have to have a detention. And so I thought that I would be so cool because I wanted Giovanni Carrasquillo to think that I was cool too. And I wanted to hang out, and I wanted Giovanni Carrasquillo to think I was as cool as Dave Avalon. So I came in and I told him, yo, Eric Adamansky, Dave, Olivia Brodowski, Jennifer Bergstrom, I don't know if she was there. Rain Bergstrom is her name on Facebook right now. We're friends on the internet show. She was the only person in my 4th grade class. It was just me and Rain Bergstrom. And she had mono for a long time, so she was out. So, I mean, we're talking about this. This was one of the things that, see, I had an entire list of reasons why my life was weird, but I thought I would just rip one right off. I'm going to toke one right off the rip. And you know what? You can't talk about how weird my schoolhood was by saying, oh, yeah, Jennifer Bergstrom, you were sick a lot in school, so when you weren't there, ready for this? I was the only person in my 4th grade class. And I went to school with other people. I say that to people and they say, oh, you were homeschooled, and I say, nope. Sat in a class, only person in 4th grade with 5th and 6th grade. Mind you, in the same classroom. For the people that have been to the Bible Baptist Church, is where we keep the ping pong table. If you're looking at the room from the hallway, it's the left side facing door. Right in front of that door, only person in 4th grade. Throwing it up, me. And it was me. I was there. Only person in 4th grade. And I learned out of the Abeka book system. And I learned everything you needed to know in 4th grade. But basically, I went in there and I told every single person, hey, yo, guess what? My dad told me we do not have to have detention. And the whole class kept the secret really terribly because it was 4th, 5th, and 6th grade. There's only like 18 of us. And I was the only person in 4th grade, maybe or maybe not at that exact point in my life. But, and our teacher was Miss Haas. But our gym teacher was Miss LaFaux. And that is why she was upset with us, because she was trying to get us to do crab soccer or whatever. And I wasn't having it. Nobody was. So my dad said, hey, you don't have to have detention. Don't tell anyone, please. Mr. Dion is going to tell people at the end of the day. And I said, oh, okay. So I went downstairs pretty much. I don't know if he told me then or if he told me the night before, but basically I walked into school like the hottest shit ever to drop out of a human being. And I told every single person, hey, no, my dad told me. And so then everybody just said, oh yeah, I know we don't have detention. And then it gravely undermined the authority of the 24 to 27-year-old teacher or whatever. Miss LaFaux was totally looked over like a short kid in a line. It was crazy. And so my dad, I remember I got called back up to the office. Now this is why it's weird. It's not weird because I disobeyed my dad in 4th grade. It's weird because my dad told me you don't have detention tomorrow in school. Then I went to school and told my whole class, and within a few hours, I was told by my mom to go talk to my dad in his office, which is still his office in the church right now. So I walked up the back staircase into my dad's office, and he said to me, you disobeyed me, and you lied, and you said you wouldn't tell anyone, and you did. Now that I'm thinking back on that right now, my dad was an adult. I know I kicked that. I'm sorry. Everybody, I fucking kicked this shit for a second. And I'm thinking back to it now. My dad was like, hey, you're 11. Wait, how old are you in 4th grade? Not 11. 6th grade is 11. You're 5 in kindergarten. I was 5 in kindergarten. I'm going to say before 6th grade, I'm going to call that before 10. So I was before 10. And my dad was like, yo, you want to know a secret you're not supposed to know? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, all right, don't tell anyone. Now, I mean, there's no possible way that he thought I wasn't going to tell anyone. I was the dumbest kid. And so I went downstairs and I immediately betrayed his trust. But the point of that is I went upstairs and I betrayed my dad's trust, who was my principal at my Christian school. And I was the only kid in 4th grade. It's just weird. It's weird to be sitting there doing your work and to have 5th grade right next to you. Like, as far away as Starscream is over there. And and be like, hey, what's up, guys? And they're like, yo, shut up, Josh. They're learning 5th grade right now. And I'm like, yo, I'm only in 4th grade. Like, what? And, so, I mean, I don't know. It's really anticlimactic, the story that I have to tell. I'm just telling you, I mean, what if somebody told you a story about their life? You wouldn't care. I mean, depends. Depends. I would love to get into who I would like to eat lunch with. I'm going to give you a rough table of contents later. Just some stuff that I'm excited about, almost like a preview. So the second thing being my dad is my minister. So I would go to church all the time, and people would confide in my father with the most delicate of, basically, like, you either become a psychiatrist or a therapist. You either become a therapist, and you go to school for it, and you're like you're like a real therapist. Not like he's a fake therapist, but what I'm saying is, like, you went to school and you trained to be a therapist. Or you just become a man of the cloth. And then people just automatically, it's like a bank. It's like putting, like, I'm a bank, and then people just bring you their money and be like, keep it. They have no idea how safe this bank is or how unsafe. I'm just saying, it was very strange. It's always been strange to me that on top of being a minister, always you are a counselor. Usually first you are a counselor, I guess, now that I'm thinking about it. I don't know. See, now I'm wondering, like, am I supposed to just put my dog on blast? I'm not trying to put my dog on blast. I'm not. My father is absolutely my best friend, and he never divulged any information that he wasn't supposed to. But it would just be weird to see people come over and like my dad was the one that they would sit and they would seek spiritual guidance from them, like a shaman. Like, I don't, can I rip tip? Ooh, said tip. Thank you. Ooh. My man Zabumafu just laid the bless up on me. This is like one of those times where you're just gonna have to, like, just relax. Oh, there's, a lot of life is just being patient. So right now you're being patient for this story. Which, everyone, I would really just, see, and I keep almost touching the table. I'm not allowed to touch the table. I'm not good at doing stuff I'm not fucking supposed to do. Yeah. That was very gentle, Zabo. And so my father was the face of my religion, and also the principal of my religious school, which goes hand in hand, kind of. There's less to talk about him being my pastor, other than it is interesting to think about being younger and going to a private school where you were, like, the only person in some of your grades. Like Chris Graves, I think it was 10th grade he was going into, and there was no one there. And so he had people to graduate with. He just did 10th and 11th grade in the same year. It's just weird. Like that is the kind of environment I was in. It was kind of like educationally, what was her name? Our superintendent of schools. The lady with the cheetah pants.
Dr. Murata.
Yeah. Dr. Murata basically told us, like, it's cool and you guys can hire whatever teachers you want. And it was like a weird loophole in the system to where we were all getting a very good education. But it was given the leeway. It was almost like being homeschooled with a bunch of kids. And I think I lost my spot. Yeah, it's gonna have to be alright. I've never done this before on a serious note, so I'm probably bound to make some mistakes. Everybody bear with me. And this really is just kind of like a ground rule as to the other ones. This lets you kind of know where I'm coming from. So it was a decently it was a interesting experience growing up and not knowing anything other than that is the church and that is the school. Now, between that being the church and that being the school, that is where I was all the time. Now, my mother, who was the best, straight up the best human being ever, as well as my dad. But my mom was one of the English teachers at the school, as well as basically like the nurse and the secretary, and she worked totally salary and pay free, and that puts a certain amount of stress on your family. Ooh, yeah, kitty. What can we do for you? What are you being so sad about? You were just hissing at this man. Okay. So between the time that we were going to church, I was at school Monday 7:30 to 3. And Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday 7:30 to 3. Now Wednesday I would go back to church. No. Stop meowing. Lay down. She don't care. So I would go to oh, good, she went. Ingrid, be good. You're being loud. And so I would go to school 7:30 to 3, and then Wednesdays I would go back from like 6:45 to 8. And then eventually it became Saturdays we would have youth group. So Saturdays I would go for, I think it was 3 or 4 hours. And Sundays I was there between 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. and then I would go back from 5:45 to 8. Because my parents would have choir practice from 5:45 to 6:45, and then we'd have church from 7 to 8. So it got to be where I was at the school more than anyone would ever be at a full-time job. It was like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night, and Wednesday night. And I mean, that is a great deal of religiously focused education. And I don't know, that is a weird mix of super liberal thinking with helping everybody you can and doing everything you can, and very I don't think you'd say conservational, but conservative mindset, like your father is the main part of your household. Your mother should submit to your father. Now, there's a bunch of fucked up aspects of that, and I know you're all like thinking that you know what I'm talking about. I'm saying like total misunderstandings about the Bible as a whole, regardless of if you believe it. It's a good guide to living. It'll tell you what you probably should do and what you shouldn't do based on like a lot of thinking based only on morals and ethics. It's just, how can you go through this life with the complexity of people's emotions and live and be happy? And I mean, I gotta say, I don't know anybody that would live. I mean, and I don't know anybody that would live like the Bible says and not and do it the way that it actually says to, which isn't difficult. Just read the book. Just read the book. But women are supposed to please their wives as much, or women are supposed to please their husbands as much as possible. But a husband is supposed to take care of his wife and never do anything to harm her within the guidelines of her morals and ethics. So if you think about it like that, what the fuck relationship do you ever know that has been lasting without that happening? People making a compromise as a team. I mean, that's more or less of an opinion, but I mean, we got hashtag get real over here. Oh, everybody put in the comments below whatever. We'll give a prize or some shit. We'll give away a fucking free trip to wherever we can afford. I'll buy you an Uber to Westfield. I'll just drive you to Westfield. That'll be your. You pick when. I'll bring you. I'll bring you over to Westfield. We'll get some Applebee's and then I'll come back. So those two things. Being the only person in 4th grade going to a what? That's a weird thing. Oh, are you talking about the cat? She's being good. Oh, and this girl is about to get pepper sprayed right in her eyeballs. What's his name? Bill's brother.
True.
Is it Bradley? I don't think it's Bradley. But it's very interesting and strange. I've never heard anybody going through the experience of of being in a school and also being in a Christian school and then having that Christian school head up by the pastor of the church. Now, for a little while, Mr. Dion was our principal, but I mean, the way that I remember it growing up was my dad was the principal, and even when he wasn't the principal, the pastor always had a very strong say. So, I don't know, that has just always struck me as weird. I guess that's why it's anticlimactic. It's not like everybody can answer me right now. But eventually, now, also, I mean, the owner of his own business is kind of a cool thing that's come into it, because it used to just when I first formulated this podcast, I wasn't taking part in the family business, so it was more just, I mean, it wasn't a bitter aspect, although having written that during a time that I didn't work there under not unbelievably terrific circumstances, made, I guess, this a little more aggressive. But now that I'm older, I get to work there, and I get to work with my mom and my dad, and today I got to work with my brother for the first time, just me and him selling furniture in the store as opposed to moving it, and it is, oh, that cat is being so crazy, she's just meowing.
She's lit up right now.
She's blessed up.
Yeah, she's blessed up.
Oh, say it to him.
Oh, talk to him.
Yo, you can't even stop, Giggle Daddy. Oh, I was gonna name my cat Sarah, so I could tell her, Sarah, come here! But my sister's name is Sarah, and I always thought that would be weird. I was then gonna name her Jason Giambi, because, it's so funny to think of my cat's name being Jason Giambi. And so what I do is I just kind of call her whatever I want at that point. She's been the grid. What are you doing? You don't just do that. Don't just meow. You never just meow. All right. So we move on. Now, when I went into public school, did you have anything that you'd like to say? Do you have anything to add to that?
No, I think you were pretty concise about everything.
Does it sound coherent?
Yeah, it sounds coherent.
Does it sound? Does it mesh well together?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So now, when we ran our own school in 2004, the school went financially under. We didn't have an attendance that met the criteria for having a school. Like, we were gonna have to have like no copy machine and stuff, and we would have had to have more than one teacher, which Mrs. Dion also was worked for free. Or my mother did, and there was a lot to be going around. So on top of me being at the school for all the time, now imagine all the time, I mean, it was every single day. I was there all the time. It got to be to when I would be like 7 or 8 or 9, and I'd be like, I'm wicked stressed out. I can't deal with it anymore. And then, right as I kind of felt that the most, the ending of 5th grade, the school closed. And it was like the most cataclysmically apocalyptic devastation. Because I didn't know anybody. I didn't know anybody outside of school except for Joe Stoddard. I knew Joe Stoddard, he was my neighbor, and that is all I knew. I lived on 27 Wilder Terrace. Joe Stoddard was my neighbor. I grew up. He was the only person outside of Christian school that I knew. That was my friend. Real life even knew. I didn't know any kids that went to public school and stuff. And he went to St. Thomas. So it was like, I was Baptist, he was Catholic. He went to a school that was bigger than mine, but it was, I don't know, he had like 400 or 500 kids in his school from kindergarten to 6th grade. And I had 100 kids, and our whole school was our maximum attendance. So when the school closed and I had to go to school in public school, I didn't realize I had never been, so I didn't know. I mean, I didn't know until I didn't put it together until I was probably 18. All of these kids that went to 6th grade that time that I went to 6th grade, they were coming from 5 different schools around here. Everyone went, K through 5. And then everyone would go to the middle school together. And I just didn't understand. I never put it together. I don't know, because I just didn't ever put it together. So when I got to the school, I just kind of had assumed that, some kids knew each other, some kids didn't. I just kind of just assumed that this school is so big that some kids know each other and some kids don't. But these kids knew each other because they went to school with them for 5 years, and they didn't know these other kids because they went to Fozzie, and these other kids went to Mitneg. So when I got to school, I just, yeah, come on, girl. Come on. Yeah. Come on, you're being right. And so when I got into 6th grade, I remember they sat us down. I'm gonna say this, and we're gonna have a brief intermission. How long has it been?
128.
I don't know what that means.
Almost an hour and a half.
Oh, but we started at what, 50 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. That's probably a decent intermission point. I would like to. We don't even really need to. You just have to wait until I wet my list.
It's just a cat screaming at me while I ate an apple in the kitchen.
She's all swole up. She scratched me earlier. Talk to her. I don't know.
She will get whapped on her head.
She screamed at me while I ate an apple.
She did.
She just screamed, and I peed. She was just like, ah.
Why is she so lit up right now?
She's never been like that.
She's staring at me. Stop. Ah. No.
You miss mommy.
That's what it is.
Yeah. Or she smells our cats. It could be that.
No.
No?
I don't care about your cats. She misses my mom. Are you looking for mom? Well, don't fall. Yeah.
Help.
Okay. So, you're being so good. You've gained a lot of weight. So, when I went to public school, they sat me down in 6th grade, and they called every single person. They sat us all down in 6th grade. Mrs. McInerney came in. And she said, I just wanted to tell you all, guys, kudos. Everybody gets a kudos, which just means, good job. She explained why kudos means good job, and how we made it to 6th grade, and that means you gotta have a good job for that. And so we all got a kudos. We all got a candy bar. Then they one by one called every single person. One by one. You've heard this story, haven't you?
No, the whole time I was thinking.
Wait, you all actually got kudos?
We all got a candy bar, yeah. No. Dude, listen to the story. Isn't that lucky?
You got a candy bar.
We got a candy bar, but I was like, I don't know, I was like heavy. I was like a little short and fat, so I probably ate that candy bar real fast. Or I was just like, holy fuck, I don't know how to be in school. I don't know.
There's like 300 kids in the room.
Yeah, we were in the cafeteria. And we went through every single person. They called, one by one, they called every single person. Sarah, yay! Sarah, 6'2", yay! Sarah, yay! And I waited, and there was no Sarah Josh. and they, I mean, you would have thought like, oh, maybe there's like 10 or 15 kids, like, I don't know, there's a bunch of kids here, maybe. And my mom definitely enrolled me early enough, like she enrolled me in public school once we figured out that we weren't going back to this school, to BBA. And so I was like, I remember they came up to Mrs. Gladue came up to me and was like, Miss Gladue, Miss McInerney, was her name Mrs. McKinnon? Who was our guidance counselor?
I have no idea.
I remember exactly what she looks like.
I received no guidance in 6th grade.
Me neither. I didn't receive any guidance in all of school. Wait, who was...
One time I got told I'm not supposed to be so mean. And I was like, well, fuck all that noise. I'm never going back there again.
Yeah, I think that's the only time I've ever been in guidance, too. It was Charlize Theron, is who you're thinking of.
The actress? Charlize Theron?
Wait a minute. Was Miss Sibelia in high school?
Yeah, she was in high school. That was in middle school.
I had a guidance counselor in high school. What? What did they do? They never guided me. Not once.
I think they were only effective if you were trying to get into college.
Yeah, that's really all it was.
I could have gotten into college.
No, I know.
Nobody's saying that you couldn't.
That's why I don't know any of mine either, because I didn't go to college. They weren't like, alright, I'll call Westfield State for you and tell them that you're doing good. They were just like, can you fucking get out of this school, please? And I was like, yeah, I show up every day. I'm gonna get out. I was
like, hi, I would like to switch all of my English classes to entrepreneurship.
I would like to only drink Mountain Dew all day. Can I do that? Are we allowed to do that here?
Wait, we got a vending machine now, right?
Yeah, Don Labby.
So, oh yeah, I remember Don Labby. So selling so.
Shout out to Don Labby if you're listening.
Don, if you don't listen to this,
made a buck off of all of us.
Did make a quick buck. My name is Buck. So they literally called every single person. Oh.
I have a question. Did everyone leave after they were called?
Yeah.
So you were literally
it was me and 4 adults, and I was sitting in the dead center. I was sitting in the very longest table in the dead center of the middle school cafeteria. Are there any other questions?
That's such an amazing thing to think of. How many kids? And you got all the Russian kids, so it's like Drani Gajarnizny.
Can we get Vladimir Potapov the third coming up? You're like, yeah. Can we get Sarah?
No, I'm remembering it now, like how that shit went, and like whenever somebody's name was called, everybody would just scream. Everybody would be like you said, like
Ghost credit.
Yeah. Sarah.
Yo, I know her, Sarah. Yeah. And then, so it was like...
That's not what 6th grade was like for me.
No?
No, it was like a concentration camp. We just showed up and everyone was silent. It smelled like puke and bleach. And then they called people's names and they funneled out. and we went into the pods.
I went into I was in green pod,
and they were like, "It's a color, so you don't get lost." Like, no, I fucking hate it here.
They were like, "It's a color, so you don't get lost. You got to go to different classes, but it's just a circle." It was just a circle.
Yeah.
It is.
That school was just a circle.
Jail.
Or so side note, 9th grade, 10th grade of high school, I had
track a little bit.
10th grade of high school, I had first period wood shop, second period metal shop, third period entrepreneurship with Provi,
Oh, you were stacked.
fourth period gym, fifth period English. So on a day that we didn't have fifth period, I was going straight to hell. I didn't learn anything.
You went to jail for a year.
I really did. Yo, it taught me. It really taught me because for 4 hours every day, it would be like, you don't have wood shop today. And I'd be like, thank God. I don't have to sit. It was really just prison. Every once in a while, some kids would try to escape. Sometimes they would.
Just walk out the door.
I don't know why they didn't just walk out the door and then go right into the woods right there. It's just the woods right there. We would always just walk out.
It was bigger back then, though. You know.
I don't know. We would just walk out the door and then walk up the hill, and then the entire English wing could just watch you walk away from school.
Exactly.
So the cop would just stop you.
You'd see kids leaving, you'd be like, "Another man down." There he goes off to freedom.
R.I.P.
So yeah, then so it ended up just being me, and I think it was 4 other adults, and they're standing here questioning me. Now I thought I was wicked nervous. Like I was wicked nervous. Like think every other one of my first days of school ever in my entire life. Not only did my mom drop me off, but she was the fucking secretary. She was there. And my sister Sarah was there, and Bessie was there, and Job was there, and my whole church. So it was like, oh, who are my friends? Church kids. Where do they go to school? Directly next to me. Now you don't know anybody.
Oh, there's no Sarah.
The only 2 people I knew in the school. 3. Stan Kulinak. Do you remember him? He had a huge head. You remember him, don't you?
You know when someone says someone's name that you haven't heard in a long time, it just hurts.
That's Stan Kulinak. And he had like such a thin mustache, but his head was as big as it is now. Like his head was as big as it is when he grew up fully, and his brother's name was Vitaly, and he just lied a lot. I remember he came up to me one time and he grabbed me because I was like, I know that kid. And someone was like, yeah, well, his dad has this car. And I was like, I don't think so. They're poor. I don't know. I was like, I don't know. But I wasn't trying to be mean. But he lied. He lied. And so he was in 8th grade. And I was in 6th grade. And I remember he came up to my locker in 6th grade. He came all the way to another pod.
Oh.
Unheard of.
Yeah.
Unheard of.
It's a Harry Potter villain.
It really was. He came to another... It was like literally if I was like, well, fuck you. And then you showed up to my house from another country. And so he grabbed me by my collar and he pushed me up against the lockers. I was right next to Miss Gladys' class. And he pushed me up against the lockers and he yelled at me or something. It was just so weird. I remember him just being like, nah, nah, nah. And so because he did that to me, I was like, well, I can't fight you back. So I told everybody how many people went to his birthday party. And that's so mean. Because I was the only one that went. He invited everyone in 4th and 5th and 6th grade. And I was the only one that showed up. Only one. He was mean. He was wicked mean. It was honestly, that's another reason why my life is weird. Have you ever had those television episodes where, like in Hey Arnold, when he teaches the bully how to do math, and then Wolfgang stops being mean to
I know what
him,
you're talking about.
and then like it was real life. Like he was bullying me, and he would bully everyone. And then I went to his birthday party, and he was like, "But I'm just a regular kid too. I'm trying to have fun. I'm just insecure, and so I mean." It was really like that, and I was the only kid to be there, and I knew that it was like one of those episodes of Hey Arnold. Then, when I showed up to his birthday party, then I knew, and it was so weird because like he was like, "Yeah, I'm having a birthday party," and he invited everyone in the class, but nobody came but me. Literally, only kid to show up. And then he was like, "Yeah, my parents are buying us Chinese food." And it was just so strange because they bought us Chinese food and I never saw their parents or anything. It was like they threw him a birthday party, but they didn't speak enough English to actually throw a birthday party. And also they didn't let him watch TV. Like literally he had video games, but to get on the actual television and watch TV, you had to put in a 16-digit code or something. This is way long ago. This is before digital cable boxes, I'm pretty sure. Just super, super, super weird. I knew Stan Kulinok, Kimmy Vincent, and Mike Germano. Those were the only three people I know who I just argued with on with Mike Germano last night when we were eating pizza.
That brings everything all together.
About why I'm
Mike
just
Germano,
like why I have to argue with him.
Well, considering the fact that the first bully you ever encountered in public school, you told young Bull to cry.
I didn't tell him to
Yeah,
cry.
you
showed him.
No.
A man physically assaulted you and said, You said I was the only one who went to your birthday party.
No. I waited. I totally bitched out. But then I waited and I went up to all his friends later and I told all his friends that he lied about having any friends and he didn't have a dirt bike and that I was the only one that went to his birthday party. And he never fucked with me ever again in his life.
Yeah, you put him on blast.
I didn't mean to though. I didn't even know what on blast was. My heart was so pure then. It was. I was just literally like, well, nobody went to his birthday party. I don't know why he's being mean to me. He doesn't have a dirt bike. Like one time, my sister Sarah made fun of Tiffany Barassa one time, and she would just say it in front of me, and I was way, way, way younger. And one time, they were seniors, and I was in like 3rd grade. Now think about it. I one time was, you know how one time... Ooh, I love when he slaps the rice away from me. Don't eat it with your hands, Beatrix.
If you start Kill Bill Volume 1 directly after the O-Ren Ishii entrance and listen to this, it's kind of like Pig is live streaming the movie in a way. There's a couple.
If you want to eat like a dog, then you have to sleep outside like a dog. Woof woof.
There you go, match that up.
Yeah, pretty good. And pick up those sticks. That sounded a lot like something I've said that Dylan has said to me. Playing drums. If you want to eat like a dog, then you must live like a dog. Pick up the sticks. So Mike Germano and me still like to debate on the internet, except that like the other day when the California wants to leave America, and you were like, you didn't vote, and I was like, yes, I did vote, and also it's up for vote next year, so nobody's voted about this yet. Literally.
#CalExit.
Yeah, literally #KillExit has absolutely nothing to do with Emperor King Trump.
The Fuhrer?
Lord Master Trump.
The good doctor.
The good doctor. He teaches you so good. So good. So, every single person leaves this... What? Every single person leaves this fucking room. And it's just me and them. And they're like, are you supposed to be in 6th grade? And I'm like, I'm 11. I think so. This is school, right? I don't know. Last time I went to school was 5th grade. This is 6th grade. It's the next year. I don't think I paid attention to whether or not I was graduating then. Oh, I hate when she punches herself out of the coffin. If I was ever in that coffin, I would... I don't know. I would take off my shoes, just like she is, and I would untie the belt, and I would put that belt, as far down my throat as I could, and I would kill myself. Because I'm not ever, no matter what, ever fuck with that. That's crazy. Oh, I forgot her arms are tied too. I hate this. Is like the worst part of anything I've ever seen.
hate it. Yeah, I can't watch it.
I like to be in places I can't move. I like to be claustrophobic. Except that time that me and Ryan were stuck in the elevator and I pushed the door open and had to climb out.
Why were you stuck in the elevator, though?
I don't know.
Yeah, tell us why you were stuck in the elevator.
Why did it happen?
Oh, yeah, how'd it happen?
No. I was punching in the elevator and I was going crazy.
Too silly.
I was literally only being too silly. Everyone gets too silly sometimes. That could probably be a podcast in itself. Just everybody getting too silly. Now, I kind of need to wrap this up. So wrapping anything up to me takes at least 25 minutes to a year.
It's a good time frame. It's a solid metric.
Yeah. Before 2018, this first podcast has got to end.
If there's not a physical door to walk through and leave.
Which I might not do or go through it. I'm surprised they go to so many deliveries a day. Because I'm like, nah, I'm done, bye. But if it was ambiguous to my exit, I would...
Don't look at me.
What do you have to say? You were CP, you were holding up so right.
Keep going.
Boots.
Okay. Oh, did I have a toke?
You've had many tokes. Let me get a toke.
I didn't have a toke. I packed this in his note. I didn't rip it.
No, you didn't. That was me. Oh, skirt daddy.
That'll do something to you. Come on, baby. I got enough nickels in my pocket for both of us to get a drink. Hey. So all of these people left. I was the only person in 6th grade. They came up to me and they said, you have to follow around Cameron Bannock. No. Cameron Dixon. So I followed around Cameron Dixon. I had his schedule. We walked around a long time. They said, guess what? Instead of giving you a new schedule, we're literally just going to have you have Camerons. So I sat next to Cameron in every single class in 6th grade.
That is the laziest public school experience I've ever heard.
Yeah.
They were like, just keep it.
Yeah.
You're going to shadow this kid. You are this kid.
Do you want to... Yeah. And they didn't tell him that I was following him, so he didn't know.
You had no idea who this kid was at all.
No, he didn't know until like
here's this giant, strange guy that's
I was tiny. I was short.
You have never been tiny.
Yo, I was 11. I was just short and fat.
I can guarantee you that there's never been a time in your entire life that you've ever been tiny.
Yeah, I was.
No.
I was little.
There's no way.
Why?
Okay, you've always been dragged from the corner just a little bit. Just entirely a size larger than the rest of the people
That's
around
so nice of you to say.
When I'm around you and your brother, you guys call me small. I'm not even small.
Yeah.
I'm not. Like, everywhere else I go, I'm like usually the largest person in the room.
What? Where are you going? I want to go there. I feel like I'm fucking giant.
You won't be allowed in. He's a
The
danger.
door is only as big as us.
We're like normal people.
Yeah.
We are normal people. We are average people.
The exact average dimensions of the people that I am.
Now that I'm looking at you, guys are like the same size. It's crazy.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
If we haven't said either of their names yet,
We
which
haven't.
No.
okay, good. I've been really trying.
You
that.
called me Starscream one time?
Yeah, it's because I scream on stars. That's actually a line in a song. They call me Starscream because I scream on stars. Something Taco Bell.
Something Taco Bell.
Yeah.
So you became Cameron for 6th grade.
Yeah. That means it's real fucking hard to shoot me, you see it. Oh yeah, you know that song. We were just listening to that. Choo choo. When he says, "Oh, Lightspeed." That's the Starscream is from Lightspeed. Lightspeed, blazing chronic through the galaxy. Hydro, Doja, chop with tar weed. That we might be sipping on gin or Hennessy. Fuck that, with a new shit. That chronic iced teas. A gang among hustlers. A slang to bang Bronson. All right, so yeah, so then basically, that's another weird thing is the entire time I went to public school, I felt like it was just like you know how you have like domino effects, and it's like, oh, I never would have met that person had I not changed the channel that one time. You're like, oh, I changed the channel. It made me want tacos. I stood up. I went in there. The butterfly effect, I guess you could call it.
Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah.
No, the butterfly effect is an actual thing, I'm pretty sure.
No, I know.
Oh, it doesn't make me feel like Ashton Kutcher. That's not funny. Oh, that's like when I used to say nothing's ever gonna be funny again, and we would say giggle. We would giggle so wild. See, and that's another thing. I feel like anyone that out there thinks that I'm too silly, or like, oh, that's gay or whatever, and to be too silly. I'll tell you, you have no idea.
Nobody's saying it's gay to be too silly. Who's saying that?
Who's saying that? Nobody's ever said anything mean to me really ever in my life. Although yesterday, well, Stan Kulinak did once. And yesterday, somebody called me fat on the internet.
Yeah, that was weird. That was weird to hear you say that.
I was like, this person just called me fat on the internet. I was like, what?
For the record, you're not fat.
I mean, obviously, I know that. It's just weird.
It would be cool if you could
It would be cool if I was fat. I try to get fat sometimes.
You should just
I eat more food at one sitting more than anyone I know.
let's give him a nosebleed.
Because sometimes I start eating in the morning and I don't stop for the whole week. Serious. So serious.
Hobbit snacks.
Ooh. I forget when you said that. But when you said that the other day, I was so hungry. When did I say it?
When did you say that?
When
the other
did you
day?
say it?
I think we're at the studio.
Oh yeah.
You're
Oh
talking-
yeah. When I was eating that, when I got the wrap after my meal,
Yeah.
because I knew I was gonna be hungry.
You always buy 2 to 3 times the food that would normally be eaten just to eat once, and then there's entire other meals that have to be got at the same time.
Because I'm gonna be hungry.
It's true. How much do I I always complain that I'm hungry. I never have food. That's why I brought food with me today. I was ready.
Oh, when you came to my parents' house,
Mhm.
I'll cook you whatever you want. They have enough food to feed one multitude. When we're done with this, we can eat.
Do you know what the metric on a multitude is? So, okay, I'll actually say something. For all of that being said, which is really interesting because I've only gotten part of the story before, knowing all of that and then knowing how you live your life and why you do the things you do is pretty. It makes sense. Like, read the book. You know, you've read the book, so
Read the book.
yeah, that give and take, and not wanting people to lie. It makes sense why like kick you leave.
Well, no. I don't want people to lie. Because have you ever had my mother tell you that she loves you? You have.
I think I have, yeah.
Have you ever had my mother tell you that she loves you, but you just this time disappointed her?
No, I would never.
Tell the truth, my dear boy.
I would never want your mother's
No,
disappointment cast upon me.
One time, one time I stole from Six Flags. No.
Wow.
No. I stole.
Whoa.
Oh, I stole a bunch of shit from Six Flags. Mom, you don't know this part, but me and Joe Stoddard were stealing shit from the candy cabin all fucking day. And because I also was real good at doing whatever I wanted to turn up. But then I would be like, hey guys, look at what I'm doing. And they would be like, way too busy. And so I'd be like, okay. So Joe Stoddard was my only friend. One time, actually, you know what's funny is I remember the exact date. So her birthday just passed, September 29th. It was October 3rd, 2004, 2002. It was 2006, I think. It was whatever. It was the 1-year anniversary of my sister Sarah getting married to her first husband. Me and Joe Stoddard go to Six Flags. Joe Stoddard is like, yo, there's no cameras in here and nobody ever knows anything and we can just steal stuff from this candy cabin and leave. We steal a bunch of shit from the candy cabin. One time when we were doing this, I took 2 20-ounce sodas out of the refrigerator next to the cashier and walked out the door with them. It's the only thing I've ever stolen on purpose in my life. I still to this day feel so badass. I was walking around, I mean, do you know how much soda is at Six fucking Flags, New England? A lot more than we had. We were calling it quits. We were about to leave. We were saying, what's up? About to leave. Turn this park out. Found a $20 bill for each of us on the floor, right outside the Houdini. Found a $20 bill on the ground. I pick it up. I spread it. It's like you just took it out of an ATM. $40. 2 20s. I'm like, yo, Joe, we about to turn up. Went back to the candy cabin. Ugh, shouldn't have.
Oh.
Got caught. I was Susie Florence. I was dating you at the time.
Just putting that out there.
It was 2005, actually. Sorry. Susie. No. I stole the candy for her.
Oh shit! You've always been a pimp, huh?
Labor of love.
Always. Always. You came up on money and went back to steal more candy for your girl. You had money.
Because I ate so much chicken tenders.
I ate so much chicken tenders.
It's so good. And I was fat and I was thirsty. And so I haven't been back to Six Flags, I don't think, since.
Good.
You probably got a record there.
No, I definitely went back. I think 3 or 4 times, but yeah. So and I turned around. We were walking out, and I had just taken like $2 or $3 worth of Reese's peanut butter cups because she liked Reese's peanut butter cups, and I was like, "Yo, this will make me feel less guilty, I guess," because I was so guilty. And then we were walking out, and I saw this kid who looked just like my first drum teacher. He was walking out real fast, like... And I remember looking at Joe Stoddard and thinking, I'm just gonna run. And I should have just run. And I always think, I should have just run, because he was like, yo, I would have just run too. But I was not as fast. So I know that if I decided to just run, I know thinking back I should have just run, but I know if I decided to run, he would have gotten away and I would have gotten caught by myself. Because he was real good at doing bad stuff. We lit the end of Fenner Street on fire one time. I mean, there's stuff I can't say on the podcast. And
that's the tip of the iceberg.
That's a good place.
Yeah. Fenner Street in Chicopee.
It's a great place.
It's here. Does anything else to add or ask?
what do you think your life being so weird has done for you as a human being?
For me as a human being, it has that was like you totally pulled that very good question right out of your ass, CP. I saw you. You didn't even know where you were going in the beginning. You navigated the still waters of reassurement.
You just gotta tie it all in, you know?
Yeah, it's true. It really is. It really is true. It's tie it like a knot. Gotta do it like I'm used to it, biatch.
God.
I like when he says, "Make your eargums tweet," and then we'll get fat. Now, what I think? I think what it has done. I mean, there gets to be in the whole thing with my dad and the family afterwards, and how it is. I guess your morals and your ethics. It has totally applied. It has totally made me really, really, for every day of my life, think deep about my morals and what's important to me and what I think is acceptable. What is the prescription for acceptable action? And then in that, the ethics being, how do I apply my morals into the prescription of acceptable action? And when is it okay to break the prescription of acceptable action? I mean, I know that it's okay to look down on stealing, but I don't know if it's okay to look down on someone for stealing to feed their family. So it's like, I mean, and so I use that as because like I mean, it's easy to judge yourself. It's easy to just break your own ethics. It's easy to break your own morals because it's easy to apply ethics to yourself. You're just like, well, I gotta. But it's harder to apply them when you judge other people. When you're like, how would I put myself in that person's shoes? So I mean, it's in a certain aspect it makes me pride myself in having no idea all of the walks of life, but wanting desperately to understand them and cope with them and learn with them to shape my own opinion.
That's very well said.
I appreciate you for saying so. Any questions for that?
I don't really have a question.
Thoughts, feelings, concerns?
Fuck 6th grade.
6th grade was fucking awful. Also, West Springfield High School, never knew I was there. That was the butterfly effect that I kind of got away from before. So if you were thinking about I lost my point or my track, I do sometimes, but I try very hard to always come back. So, that day I went in there and they didn't know I was supposed to be there, and it affected my entire 6th grade. And then it affected who I knew in 6th grade. And so that one day of them not knowing what I was supposed to do affected the remainder of my life in the public school. Like, it wasn't just like I was picked and it was like I had to actively be in my first day of 6th grade, when I'm sure kids went through the entire day of 6th grade without saying much more than their name and one thing about themselves.
Yeah.
I'm gonna open. I've opened this. I've opened this time to questions, feelings.
Opa. You're really opening that time to questions, feelings, and concerns from the people who listen that aren't us, though.
Yeah. No, but I mean, obviously, you guys, if you were to have questions that maybe somebody might comment below, then maybe that they would already have it answered, and it would be like ear candy hearing something that they were already thinking.
Why yes work?
Why yes work?
Because I had someone. Actually, that was your brother. And he was like, yes work? So why yes work? Explain that. Which is something that you didn't mention at all.
Oh, it's yeah.
You did without.
Yes work is the explainable, the knowable, the omnipotence of feeling. It is the ultimate it is the ultimate marriage between artistic ego and diligence.
Fuck
it. Do whatever you do politely with a smile.
I got another question. Why do you think it's a bad idea to protest in the middle of a highway at night?
We love to debate and we do. But this one specifically goes out to you because I want you to know. I want you to know. You just, I mean, this more or less just has to do with what I have talked to on the internet so much. It's not good to stand in the middle of the highway. And there's so many other places to do whatever you want to do. I don't care. I don't care. Do you want to know what standing in the middle of the highway is going to get me to do? I mean, really? Okay, fucking A. You need to get all the way back down to what is a problem. A problem is something that if you can think about it conceptually, you would like to change. So, do you want the problem to get better or worse? Okay, my baby my baby is screaming and screaming and screaming. Okay, well, I have to take them to the doctor and give them up to a bunch of doctors. I have to take them to the hospital and give them up to a bunch of doctors and not be with them. But it will save their lives. Sometimes in order to get what you want, you have to do what you wouldn't necessarily be your first choice. That's all I'm saying. Is do you want the problem to get better or worse? Protesting is nothing more than a debate. It's other than protesting is a debate is two sides, two differing sides being put up in a versus mode to try to get the other person to take your opinion, to try to change someone's mind. So do you want the problem to get better or worse? The best way to do that is to change people's minds. Do you want to know what you're going to do by standing in the middle of the fucking highway?
Die?
No. You are going to make me never ever care about what you'd ever have to say, no matter what, even if it's about the highway.
But you have to remember that the notion behind doing that is coming from people who follow the rhetoric that the riot is the rhyme of the unheard. And they consider that to be a positive reference. So it's going to be really hard to get through to people who think that through.
No. I love protesting. It is literally awesome. If a company is doing something illegal and you want them to stop, then you can do whatever is exactly the opposite of that legality back to them. I don't mind that, but this is all just opinion. What is not opinion is it being a fucking good idea to stand in the middle of the goddamn highway.
It's a very bad
It's
idea.
a terrible. It's a terrible idea. B, it will never get. I mean, you can just go on that post. If anybody wants to go to that post, I posted literally an entire. I mean, it's all about the highway, and it's all about Dr. Trump was like Dr. Trump signs petition that says he's gonna make standing in the highway it's gonna be more expensive to protest in the highway. Yeah, it should be. You want to know what? Protesting is expensive. You have to have a great injustice for I guess it to be. I mean, I guess it doesn't have to be, but with any really good cause will come great adversity, and with the most adversity, usually some of that stuff that's adverse is illegal. If you're gonna protest, plan to go to jail. If you're gonna protest like that, I don't know, everyone that protested all of those teachers getting fired in our high school, every single kid got suspended. They were like, you can't suspend all of us, and she was like, yep.
Well, I mean, it's like, if okay, so you're driving down the highway, and like, a bunch of people are standing in the middle of it. They're like, don't kill kittens. And that's like, okay, yeah, I don't want anybody to kill kittens. I don't want them to drown them. I don't want them to put them in bags and throw them over a bridge. But I'm on my way to work, and no matter what the cause is that they're protesting, I'm going to be like, get the fuck out of the fucking way. I just want to go to work. This is annoying.
I know, and they would say, Captain, they would say, no, you need to have this brought to your attention, and that comes directly into my next bullet point. Don't smoke crack. No, just joking. But my next bullet point is, in order for the problem to get better, you need to persuade.
Exactly.
And in order to persuade, you need to be able to create a comfortable environment to where they are convinced.
You're not gonna persuade the common working man to not do whatever you're trying to explain by not letting him go to work.
Totally agreed. This has nothing to see. People talk about work. People talk about ambulances and shit. I push back way further than that. Yes, let me go to work. Oh, I can't. Sometimes protests stop that. Can't go up this street. Why? You can't. Go another way.
Well, you literally can't. That's like 10 or 15 counts of involuntary manslaughter if you drive down the road that you're supposed to be allowed to drive down because there's people in the way.
Correct. It's illegal to stand in the middle of the highway. It's illegal to be a pedestrian on the highway.
Right.
You can't walk on it.
Can't put no horses up there neither.
Nope.
Every single person.
There's a sign.
Yeah, every single person
It tells you what you can
in
do.
the whole world has already not even unanimously, totally together decided shouldn't be on fucking roadways that are just built to go fast in one direction. That's why, do you see many people walking in the subways? No. You'll die. So you ever play Grand Theft Auto ever once? You ever fucking play Grand Theft Auto ever once? Ever. So yeah, in order to get people to change their minds, you have to do it in a way that will make me listen. The second I stop listening to you is the second that you failed. Because there's nothing you could do or say other than hurt my stuff, which will terrify me, and I will drive my car through you. I mean, horsepower is how fast I hit the cars. Torque is how far I drag the bodies. So I mean, I'm just saying, and I know it's an atrocity to hit protesters. But if you just don't understand, if you own a family car and you have it full of your fucking family, and your family pulls up to a very unruly mob, put the Chevy Traverse through these people. Let's make it home safe. Let's kiss Lola and Milo and Nick and me a good night. I'm talking about my sisters. That's my sister. If Sarah pulled up and there was a bunch of people surrounding her car, fly, babe. Go.
Let them have it.
Not even let them have it.
Rip
but
through them.
Drive through. Hopefully they wise up and they get out of the way. You care about your cause so much, you're gonna let a group full of a family full of terrified people driving in a car it just doesn't make any sense. No matter what you say, it doesn't make any sense. Chain yourself to a post. Go fill up all the McDonald's and be like, no one can get any McDonald's. Go take away some of the stuff that doesn't matter if we have. Oh, I protested this terrible atrocity of the wall by shutting the ER down. No, you fucking idiot. It's a bad idea. Standing in the middle of the road, dangerous for you, dangerous for all of them. What was the argument that I have? I won't name any names, but you know who you are. You told me on the internet that the environment, you said standing in the middle of the highway is dangerous for people on the highway. Yeah, only because of you. And B, you told me everybody is endangered by the environment. Like, there's no way any of that makes any sense. There's no way. There's no way. Don't comment below. If you have anything to comment about that, I absolutely don't even care. Like, I mean, what possible... I mean, no, you know what? What possible argument... If anyone is bold enough to come on this and have a debate with me...
Ooh, okay.
We can have timers, and we can have buzzers, and whoever's light is on gets to talk.
I would love to prompt a debate between you and other people on a podcast.
I would like more than one. If we're gonna debate about the highway standing, you're gonna need more than one person. Bring everyone you got. I'll debate the whole.
Bring the whole family.
Can we say it? Can we do that?
Yeah.
Like ding ding. Let's go. Let's fucking box.
Invite everybody that opposes
We'll
not
light up
standing
the
in the
mics.
highway at the homestead.
We'll find a good. Oh shit. Oh shit.
I would like it to be as difficult for me as possible.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yep.
It would be great. We'll set a
unbelievable.
date.
Yep. And then at the end of it, you know where we should have it? In the middle of the highway. A great idea.
On the opposing side won't show up because that's stupid.
Yeah, I'll be here.
I'll be on the side of the road with the microphone.
Mm-hmm.
Speak loudly, you guys. I'm not going out.
Oh, wait, what time is it? Oh, it's the middle of the night. Great time to go protest in the middle, of the highway. I mean, literally, you look at these videos, it's the New Jersey Turnpike. It's the middle of the fucking night. It literally, you're seeing people's dash cams, and it looks like they're pulling up to The Walking Dead. You're not going to run through a Walking Dead line?
It's like, no!
No, you walk up and they're like, no. Protesting is good. You need to be able to stand up for what you want. Absolutely.
Try it during the day where people are watching, though.
Try during...
Not going 65 miles an hour.
Yeah. Try doing it during the night where where it's not the highway. You know how many roads there are?
There's a lot.
Go any road you want.
A lot of good parks.
Any road, any park, any place, any time, anywhere.
Town common.
You could protest right on Tinder. Are we a match? Nah, protest.
Protest.
Go on your Tinder and tell all these girls protested. Oh, that's where I'm gonna end it.